Labels are just verbal observations of the counterpart's emotions, motivations, the driving forces, circumstances, or dynamics. It's your interpretation of the data that they're giving. What are they telling you? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are labels? Labels have structure. It's going to be a way of validating someone's emotions by acknowledging and exposing the negative thoughts. It seems like, it sounds like, it looks like, it feels like. It versus you. It is more neutral. You is going to be more personal. You is going to be a little bit more engaging. The problem with using you in the beginning is if you don't know the skills well enough and you use the you and you mislabel or say a label wrong, you may sound accusatory. Well, I used to watch The Karate Kid, and in the beginning, Miyagi told Daniel, I'm going to teach you how to, you want to be a martial artist, I'm going to show you how to do it. And he took him to a car and said, wax the car. And he said, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And Daniel was doing it. When he went in the house, Daniel figured I could do it better and easier by just going forward and backwards. And when Miyagi came back out, he said, no, wax on, wax off. He did that for a reason. In the beginning, when you're first learning these skills, we have a way that we want you to do them so you become familiar with them. It takes 64 to 67 repetitions just to get comfortable with these skills. Now let's talk about but, and, or because. But is an erasing word. If you throw out a label, it seems like you have a plan for what's going to happen. And then you throw the but behind it. But I don't think it's going to work. Everything that you've done or said before the but just got erased. All you did was tell the person that you don't believe them, that what their idea was is a waste of time. You don't think it's going to work. And that's what they're going to hear. Now, and or because is explaining or stepping on the label. So all you want to do is just put it out there, let it sit, let the counterpart respond. And or because are what we call stepping on the label. Ronald Reagan said, if you're explaining, you're losing. So when you put out a label, you don't want to go behind it and try to explain what the label means. You're telling the people they're stupid, they don't get it, they don't understand. So let me tell you what the label means. You just want to be quiet. You want to sit back, let it take it in, let them, what we call, and we'll get to it, dynamic silence. We want to let you be quiet and sit back and let that other person think about what you said and then let them respond. Remember when we first started, I said it takes anywhere from 75 to 80% of the time you want that person to be doing the talking. All right, so what are labels? Labels are just verbal observations of the counterpart's emotions, motivations, the driving forces, circumstances, or dynamics. It's your interpretation of the data that they're giving. What are they telling you? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? Emotions are usually the easiest thing to pick up first since they're the most obvious. If you see somebody's angry, you can label that. It seems like you're angry. We have two types of labels that we talk about, surface and deep dive. Surface is the presenting labels. If you're using the presenting labels, they're good. It's a way of getting the conversation going. It's a way of letting the person know you're paying attention. We want to get to the deep dive labels, the latent labels. We want to find out the why behind the behavior. So just like I said, it seems like you're angry. It's going to get a response normally. People, yeah, I'm angry. Then when you go a little further, go a little deeper with it, it says, what is the why behind the behavior? You want to be curious. It's going to be a slight shift. So an example of that would probably be something like, it seems like your anger is focused towards something. And it's normally going to get a deeper response. People are going to say, yeah, every time I start to talk or do something, I'm getting hit in the head or getting told that I'm a pain in the ass or I don't work, it's not working, and it frustrates me. So you're going to get a deeper response to what's going on in their head. You're going to start building that tactical empathy. Now we talk about negative versus positive. When you label the negatives, you're going to diffuse them. Those are what we call the elephants in the room. They're going to keep the counterpart from being able to move forward in the conversation. It's always going to be lingering in their head. How many times have you guys been in a conversation and you're thinking about something else? You're waiting for them to talk about something, or you're waiting to get an opportunity to talk about something negative that's going on with the company or the counterpart. So you're not even really paying attention to the conversation. If you're doing it, your counterpart is probably doing it too. So the negative labeling, you want to diffuse it. You want to get out in front of it. You want to get out in front of the elephant that's in the room. You want to get them to start thinking clearly. You want them to listen to the conversation. You want them to express what's going on. You want them to tell you more, but they have that sitting in their head, so they're not really focused. Labeling the positive is going to reinforce it. If they're holding a conversation and they talk about something positive that you've done in the company or that's helping the negotiations, you want to reinforce it. It sounds like that's important to you. It seems like you really appreciate when good things are going the way they should. And now they're reinforcing it. Yeah. They're getting that hit of what we call dopamine. They're getting excited. They want to do more business with you. Anybody that's gotten that hit of dopamine, we all like it. And Sandy's on the call, and I know she don't want to talk, but she tell the story about her daughter coming home, how excited she gets. You know, when she have a conversation with her in the beginning, it was like, and everybody that have kids that are teenagers, we've all been through it. They come in, oh, what's going on? Nothing. What you do today? When you get a chance to hit them with a positive, seems like you had a great day today. Oh yeah, you know my friends. Can somebody put Francisco on? Oh, there you go. It seems like you had a great day today. Yeah, I went out with my friends. We got to do this, and that, and they hold a whole conversation with you. And normally you're the enemy or the opposition. That's what we are as parents. So when you have an opportunity to hit them with positive labels, hit them with positive labels. It's going to reinforce what they're thinking. They're going to feel good about you. They're going to hold a conversation longer. Which one do you think has the most impact? The positives or the negative labels?
Okay, Troy, we have positives. Some people are saying negatives. Actually, more negatives than positives.
Okay. Whoever said the positive, have somebody come up who said the positive.
Trying to think through the various situations that might happen, and just thinking people usually probably feel more reinforced and acknowledged when you bring them towards a positive state that they're feeling. And in most negotiations, that's probably pretty rare. We get focused on the negative tensions and the negative viewpoints of each other.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Lee, because people think 31% more efficiently when they're in a positive state of mind. While that's good, you want people to be able to think clearly. The negatives are still going to be the elephant in the room. And the negatives are going to have 3 times greater impact than the positive will. If you're thinking negative, like you said, most people have heard negative things throughout. And when you're thinking negative, it don't go away. So how do you deal with it? You have to deal with that elephant. You have to address it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to get the person to understand why, find out what's going on in their head.